Welcome back to Critical Rocket. Today is the third mech in the heavy mech series. It's going to be the Catapult today. Slight variation here. It's still the 4 medium lasers of the C1, but it's going to be having 2 LRM-20s with Artemis instead of 2 LRM-15s. I reason this by it's like a Star League upgrade or a Star League refit. Still in keeping with the base weapons that the mech has, and for once the ammo isn't in legs. I know, a rarity these days. Terra Therma, quite a hot map. I'm not a fan of this map at all, in any mode. In my opinion, it just sucks. It's difficult to navigate, it doesn't look all that great, it's too hot, and every time I go in it I always end up either getting lost, isolated and butchered, or not really doing much but still winning. And this is what this video is. A lot of it is me trying to get into a good firing position on mechs, and the rest of the team pretty much got it covered. I'm just kind of standing there making up the numbers, really. Catapult is quite famous in Battletech lore because it was one of the base sort of design parts of the Timberwolf for the clans. So it's famously the Mad Cat name comes from the fact that a targeted computer detected the Timberwolf as a marauder or a catapult, so that's the name Mad Cat. You can probably see the similarities of the Catapult and the Mad Cat with its 2 LRM pod that acts as arms on this mech, and the same sort of conical shaped torso and head combination like the Timberwolf has. This one I've got up to a decent speed, 75 kph isn't bad for this 65 tonner. At the moment it's just trying to figure out best route to go on this map. As any of you who play Mechwarrior online might know, this map is commonly referred to as Mordor, for very obvious reasons. Just looking at the battle grid, just trying to figure out where the rest of the team are, because it's best in this mech to blob together. But yeah, catapults generally in Battletech lore are a quite a good mobile support unit for ranged fire. 2 LRM-15s obviously can do quite a lot of damage. It's fairly mobile because it comes with jump jets, and this one's got decent support weaponry. If it gets attacked at close range with the 4 medium lasers, pretty decent amount of damage at 20 if all 4 hit. I quite like this mech because it's difficult to knock out, even if you're running with an XL engine, because the left and right torsos aren't quite as easy to hit as the CT is, and as long as you've got good armour on the CT, you're generally going to survive a good few hits. It's also helped by the fact that it's actually quite nippy for a 65 tonner. Its downsides are its 2 gigantic bunny ears on the side that very easily get blown off. One of the things I didn't show on here is you might be able to see the little lights on the side of the cockpit that are green at the moment. That's when you have the missile bay doors open, which, as I've explained in the previous video, it allows the mech to fire its missiles without having that half-a second delay between the doors opening. When that's down, you fire also when they're open. Fire a lot quicker, basically, and you have the downside of when they're open, you lose, I think it's like 5 or 10% of the armour value of that section, which means they're easier to blow off, basically. And when you're fighting against a catapult, it's generally best to go for those ears. They're big square targets, so it's difficult to miss them. And more often than not, players who are running the C1, or I believe it's the A variant, they will generally either be boating LRMs or they'll be running a mix, but either way, if you blow them off, they basically got no weapons left, and the mech is dead in the water. Yeah, I'm trying to hit a UAV there, that's why I just fired 4 lasers at nothing. You can see where my reticle's pointing, you can just see its little thrusters, and there it goes, falling down. So yeah, this is the problem with Terra Therma. A lot of this map becomes static, everyone runs to the middle, and whoever gets there first and gets their infills generally controls the flow of the match. In this case, their team captured it first, and now we're all stuck on the incline of this hill, hoping that some of them will pop their heads over and we can fire at them. As a result, because they've got a lot of ECM, I don't get many shots of LRMs, and unfortunately I don't think you see me do a hell of a lot in this match. The reason I'm loading this one is it had been quite a long day trying to get footage for several heavy mechs. I mean, the same day I got the Dragon, the Quick Draw, the Catapult, and the Jaeger mech footage at the same time, and pretty much by the time I got to the Catapult I was just fed up. So this is the best I could do, unfortunately. There's a little hanging cockpit item up there, which is the... I believe it's the clan? Yeah, it's the clan loyalist symbol. It's the Star League Cameron star, but turned vertically instead of horizontally.
New target acquired.
So in essence, do I like the Catapult? Yeah, it's a fun mech in the right circumstance. Originally, when it was added, it was one of the first 4 mechs in the game, and it was fun then. It kind of got superseded by other mechs that were better at boating LRMs, things like the Stalker, and nowadays the Battlemaster. It also had an issue, I believe, with being very easily killed via headshots. I think that's been fixed since, because I don't remember getting headshotted very often in this mech these days. But I would recommend it for anyone who doesn't want to run an assault as an LRM boat, but they still want enough missiles to do good damage, but also be able to have a bit of mobility, and that's pretty much what this mech does. Out of all of the heavies that are currently in the game, this is the one that probably has the most missile slots available. And there's a couple of good builds you can run if you obviously don't want to run anything like the tabletop. There's a 6 LRM5 version, which is low heat, and you can just chain fire that, and anyone that's out in the open just constantly gets rocked. It makes it very hard for them to actually fire back at you. You can go with a Light Hunter variant, which boats Streak SRM2s, or with a Beagle probe equipped, you can do a lot of damage to the likes of spiders and fire starters that run in amongst your team. What else you got? You've got the Splat Cat, which now with the SRM fix is quite powerful. Being able to boat numerous SRM4s or 6s, you run the risk of overheating, but you do incredible amounts of damage. Probably not the kind of thing I would imagine the original tabletop creators ever imagined the mech to be used for, but in this game you can pretty much flatten an assault mech or another heavy in a few salvos, and certain lights will just outright be killed as soon as they get hit.
New target
you can also obviously, I see builds that are a kind of a mix, a couple of streaks, a couple of LRMs, so as to give it a bit of range. The beauty of the C1 is that it has a few energy slots, so you can at least equip backup weapons when your ammo runs out, your ears get blown off because all the weapons are in the torso. The I think it's the A1 variant, on the other hand, only has missile pods, so you have to be a bit more careful, play that one a bit differently. The other version is the K2, which is a very, very different type of catapult, because instead of having missile pod arms, it has cannon arms. And by default I think that build has 2 PPCs and a couple of machine guns, medium lasers. A lot of people tend to make that a Gauss rifle build, but the arms are just superfluous. They're just there for decoration, they don't really have any weapons in them. And yeah, you can put 2 Gauss rifles and a bunch of ammo in there and pretty much tear apart anyone who's stupid enough to stand still. It's a pet peeve of mine though to see any of these dual Gauss mechs, Jaeger mech, Cataphract, Direwolf, any of those things at the moment that are running those builds. But yeah, it's perfectly viable. You'll get kills with dual Gauss easily. Personally, I prefer this variant over the K2 and the A variant. I just like the mix, being able to use a few energy weapons and a few missiles at the same time. It gives you a nice flexibility. He can help out teammates on the field, whether you're at range or whether you're at close up, and yeah, it's got decent enough torso to a speed that you can track faster moving targets if they're running circles around you. Yeah, at this point on the map I'm trying to get up to a better firing position. I just haven't got enough jump jets to do it, unfortunately. So I try... this is a method you can use. You can rapidly tap space, or whatever your jump jet key is, and kind of jump your way up the side of a hill without using too much fuel. It's kind of a cheap way of getting around the map if you need to do it. It's very useful on alpine peaks, for instance. But looking at it, I think this map is just about wrapping up. As I said, sorry about the relative lack of action in this one. You didn't really see me kill anyone. You didn't really see me do much damage on this one. I mean, it would have helped if it wasn't Terra Therma. As I said, at this point I was really getting fed up with trying to get a win where I survived. I had plenty of wins where I died, and thus my footage was completely useless. So this one is one of those rare where I managed to survive and be on the winning team. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll just leave you here with the riveting final moments of me walking backwards to protect the direwolf. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good week.